What's going on, people? Welcome to the Full View, man. Happy Sunday, first of all. Happy Sunday. Big up to everyone watching. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. You know what the Full View is all about. It's about big opinion. It's about big interaction. And it's about big news. And we've got a big debate tonight. We've got a big show tonight. We're going to be talking about, has Erik ten Hag lost the United players? Front of the thumbnail, what next? I feel like we've had a few of those what next. Where do we go from here? What now? What do we do? Big up to Mina, big up to Rich, big up to Kenny, big up to Owen, and of course, most importantly, big up to every single one of you guys watching at home. Raymond says, blame KG. Says just blame him straight away. Make sure you blame him. Watching from Philly, says Joseph, big up to you watching from Philadelphia. Spurs doing well, says Tawana. I'm in the mud tomorrow on DR. I'm the only one that's lost. Just little old me, mudded, and the way we lost was disgraceful. Even though I'm mudded, I don't even want to go in. I'm gonna have to say sorry to Abby, say sorry to Spurs. Said they'd lose 3-0. High line.
Say sorry at all. Don't have to say sorry at all.
Yeah, true. It depends how salty I'm gonna be in the morning. I'll decide later on. But big up to everyone. But let's get to business. This is a serious show. It's so annoying. We have to end up back here. We're always one game away from this happening, where we come back to the table, come back to the drawing board. We all look at each other. We go, "What do we do? We're shit. What do we do? What do we do?" I don't know who wants to start. What do we do, guys? What do we do?
Bruh,
Michael was telling me. So Raf was like, "I'm ten Hag out." You know, KG after the stream or on the stream was like, "I'm looking at the manager." Someone told me about Mina or something. I don't know. She's got some thoughts.
I've heard some rumors. Can I say some rumors? Mina, are you with or without the manager at this point? Where do you stand on Erik ten Hag?
Without the manager?
Where do you stand on Erik ten Hag at the moment? Just out of curiosity.
I'm still pro ten Hag, but I do question him. I do question some of his decisions. I think he's an absolute liar. It's like I think he's a liar. I think he lies a lot. Like he actually lies a lot. He's a liar. He's a liar. And the thing is, I think for me, the problem is the players. That's the main problem. Because how can you go? Some of these players have been here since Van Gaal, since Mourinho, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. What is the reoccurring theme here? Oh, has the manager lost the players? These players have still survived that. Yesterday, what was yesterday? Saturday, guys. I'm not even joking. Look at this. I failed my MOT test, but the worst thing that happened to me yesterday was Manchester United losing. Manchester United losing was the worst thing of my day yesterday, and that says a lot. I got 99 problems. And Manchester United.
You had that ready. You had that MOT test there ready.
I was here on my table. It's staring me down. It's staring me down.
What things is wrong? What's
wrong with the car, man?
Is it like tires? Is it like
it's everything? It's like Manchester United.
It's United.
The
red gasket's gone. The red gasket
is not working.
Hey, MOT failed. Need new engine, mate. Need a whole new engine.
Like with the manager thing. Like with the manager thing, they go, "Do you get rid of the driver?" Yo, it's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
Get rid of the driver.
Minute out. Hashtag minute out. It's Mina's fault, bro.
Oh, mate. Jesus. Oh, honestly, that just
gotta laugh.
It really, yeah. I mean, Rich, what say you, man? Because the inquesters are always out after losses like this and the manner of the defeats. Every time we lose, it's the manner we lose these type of big games. And this was a 1-0 battering. Like, it wasn't like, why are you guys moaning? You only lost 1-0. You know, Arsenal lost 1-0 when they went there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not, that's not what it is. We all know what we witnessed.
Yeah. I mean, I was moving mad in the match view chat. You know, I don't know if the people that are here saw that. I was like, we're gonna cook Newcastle. You know, 4-1, 4-0. I was
wait, no.
Yeah, I've got some things actually with Rich.
Thank you.
Like before the game, he said the reason, and this came from DJ. I've got snitches. Yeah, I've got proper snitches sending me stuff. Right. So Rich said in the comments that the reason we played McTominay yesterday is because I believe the quote is he moves like prime R9 in the box, was what he said. And DJ screenshotted that to me and put a circle and said, "Are you okay with this?"
He's a snitch. He's a snitch.
Explain yourself.
No, I was moving mad. You know what? The only reason I did that was I was just trying to be reckless because I thought, you know what? we're probably going to lose this game. So I might as well just get my comments out now, just talk nonsense. And if it works, it works. But I did not expect to win. Obviously, I did not expect to win it. And obviously, lo and behold, we got battered. We got moved to by Newcastle. And like you said, it was a 1-0 battering. That's what it was. They, throughout the game, from top to bottom, they worked us. They controlled us. It was just embarrassing. And it feels every time like we are just one game away from a crisis. If you look at the Galatasaray game, if we'd won that game, if we'd won it 3-0 or 3-1, which we probably should have done, would we be as about this game? Yes, because the performance is just rubbish, and the team is just rubbish, and it just maybe makes us realize that actually we're not that good. We're not that good.
No, we're not.
I think the other thing, Rich, what we're not picking up on, we have played the Newcastle second team twice in about 6 or 8 weeks, and both teams have played us off the park. At Old Trafford.
Well, yesterday was their first team, pretty much. Not far off.
Really. Did 11 injured last
year.
But apart from that, in their starting 11, it's only really Botman to come into that, and Tonali.
But they didn't have to. But they couldn't change it, could they? They couldn't change it, and they didn't.
And they didn't. But Liverpool actually.
We've been bemoaning the fact that we've had injuries, etc. They've been the worst for injuries. I know they have, because when you do the checks, the number of first-team players out, up to last week, they had 14 out. They had
3 keepers on the bench, mate. Against PSG, have 3 keepers on the bench.
Exactly, but they needed one yesterday with Pope, sadly.
Yeah, true.
But no, let's not forget, it's not that long since their second team battered us at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been a shock yesterday. What I will do, I'll take my hat off to Newcastle, and I'll take my hat off to Eddie Howe as a manager from the point of view. He joined that club 2 years ago. They were bottom of the league and hadn't won in 12 games. Look at them now.
But then to bring it back to our manager, to bring it into Ten Hag, Kenny, you just give big praise to Eddie Howe, and rightly so. Yeah. They haven't exactly, with FFP, it's not like they've spent, 400 million every single transfer window. They started off buying bloody Chris Wood and Matt Targett and players like that. How do you look at our manager then, and why are we not on that trajectory?
Because I honestly believe that it's his recruitment, because we've got players that were playing for us yesterday and they're playing the last 3 or 4 games that we've tried to sell. And Aaron Maguire yesterday was head and shoulders above anybody else on the pitch from an effort point of view. Don't forget the technical ability. Forget the technical ability, because that's a plus now for Man United. If you've got technical ability, that's excellent. We just want you to play for the badge again. We've now had a situation, and I'll give you the classic example on Wednesday, right? Anthony on the right, Wan-Bissaka on the right, and Højlund basically operating from the right-hand side with Bruno. On Wednesday, I thought they looked very good. Right, all right, we drew the game, but I thought that right-hand side, for once, looked solid. Anthony was tracking back, Wan-Bissaka and him was overlapping. I thought, great. Rashford comes back in yesterday. We can talk for weeks about Rashford. Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful. Right, his performance was terrible. There was no excuse for that. So who do I blame? I blame the manager. I have to blame the manager. We can all see it. We all saw that Anthony runs his trap off. Wan-Bissaka's comfortable with him because he knows he's getting support. He got absolutely rinsed yesterday, Wan-Bissaka. Absolutely rinsed, the lad, right? And he's taking comments about him against other right-backs or whatever. No, I'm sorry. You had no support. When Anthony came on, in 5 minutes, we looked a better team. And we've all bemoaned Anthony. How can you as a manager ask the board, every one of these major signings is not a starter? You can name them. Mount, when he's fit, is not a starter. Højlund is not a starter. Anthony is not a starter. Amrabat is not a starter.
It's only Onana who's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
And even that, we're like, get the other guy.
That's it. There's only Onana. Do you know what I mean? And I think I honestly think what Ten Hag's not realised is how big of a club this is. Because only the other day, right, Anana had a nightmare on Wednesday, right? The morning after, the BBC was putting all sorts not fan channels, was putting all sorts of statistics out, but he's got this record and that record. I've watched the City keeper today, the Liverpool keeper had a nightmare, will never get a mention. It will not get a mention in the press tomorrow. It will not, right? But what Ten Hag's suddenly realising is, and I don't care what anybody says, when Jim Ratcliffe comes in, Jim Ratcliffe is no different than any other United fan. I don't know one fan what give any praise to that football team yesterday. He's got to look and say, what the hell is going on here? I've got a 3 times Champions League winner in a World Cup. He's getting benched for Johnny Evans from Leicester at 35. What's going on there? I've paid 70 million and paid somebody £300,000 a week and he's sat at home playing on his PlayStation, and we're getting rinsed every game. There will be questions.
Do you think? Actually, let me ask Owen this. Could Ineos come in and change this? Like, change the manager, like new idea. Like, could they just go, you know what? There's a lot wrong here. Well. Blank cap. We're actually going to change this. I'm just thinking out loud.
This is why I'm worried.
Chat, let us know as well. Let us know in the chat.
This is why I'm worried, okay? And I don't want to be that like tinfoil hat kind of thing, yeah? But I noticed it a couple of times. We noticed it this season, but I noticed it a lot yesterday, and it's in the title as Ten Hag lost to players. There is no doubt in my mind, if you're going to look at the 11 that started that game, not every single one is playing for the manager. They cannot
name names.
Rashford, Marcus Rashford. There is no way he's playing for the manager with the effort he was putting in yesterday. Anthony Martial, the same. You saw him going back and forth at each other. Yeah. When Ten Hag's screaming at him, Martial's response is to go like this. Rashford's been doing that all season. All season. I mean, if you want to look at, even people, it's ironic, like Kenny said earlier on, a player that you could see playing for him, it's Harry Maguire. You wanted shot off him in the summer.
Yeah. And the thing is, Harry Maguire is just being a professional. He's just playing for himself.
Doing his job. Yeah, exactly.
Or he's doing that because he realizes the situation too, and he's going, I shouldn't be playing. Rafa Varane's on the bench. Why am I playing at the moment? If a new guy comes in, there's no way I'm playing, and I'm definitely leaving. So I've got to fight to keep a spot. I've got to try and fight to keep this guy his job.
Connor says Scott McTominay as well. Dallo as well.
Wow. Again, a lot of them. You mentioned Ineos. My worry is that the players might not even maybe if they're I don't know if they're doing this purposely or anything like that, but subconsciously thinking, look, there's a lot of change on the horizon. If it gets as bad as it gets, maybe they'll just go, you know what, clean slate, get rid of the manager or bring someone else in as well. Everyone can have a clean start. Exactly. And I'm so sick of that. And I get it. I saw Raf said in his fan view yesterday, and I mentioned it this morning on the Match Day Reloaded. I get it. I get the criticisms of Ten Hag. I criticised him yesterday. I don't understand why he had to wait till 60 minutes to take Rashford and Martial off and to go 1-0 down first. Everyone saw that coming. Yeah. I don't understand with McTominay how he played the full 90 or whatever. Why? Why? I don't understand why he put Donny van der Beek on the bench when he's got no intention of bringing him on. We know he's not going to bring him on. So I don't understand the tactics of every single game where the midfield, it's wide open every single time, defensive transition. So it's not like he's beyond reproach, but I still say don't sack the manager because I don't want these players to get away with it again. Because we're doing the same cycle over and over and over again. And it's already started. You can feel it. The wheels are in motion of certain players just going, you know what? I've fallen out with this manager or he's fallen out with my friend. I don't like how he's talking to this person. So you know what? Yeah, I'm not trying my hardest anymore. I'm not really giving it the best I can give. Someone else will come in, scrap the season. You're right. I wouldn't even be shocked if he does go interim while Ineos figure it out. So that's another season lost. Right. You can see it. And even if the interim or the new manager comes in and there's immediate bounce and we play a bit better and all the good feelings back, 18 months time with these players here, we'll be having the same conversation again because we've had it with Van Gaal, with Jose, with Ollie, with Rangnick. I mean, the stat was yesterday that I think it was 7 players started that were under Ollie, 8 players that started under Rangnick, both played yesterday. And you ask yourself, like Kenny says, when it comes to recruitment, well, why are they still here? And this is when you go into Ten Hag and the recruitment and the club recruitment, because let's make no mistake, the club ain't innocent recruitment as well. For a decade, their recruitment's been awful. But like, name some of the signings, like 3 midfield signings that Erik Ten Hag has made. They were all injured yesterday. Casemiro, Eriksen, Mount, injured. Malacia left back, injured. Martinez, injured. Højlund, he was on the bench. Anthony, he was on the bench. That's a lot of money on players that ain't playing and started as well. So the whole thing's a total mess. And it's where do you go from here? Do you get rid of the guy? And to be honest, I really worry because I look at the fixtures coming up and I go, you know what? Chelsea in the week, it's at home. We might get away with that one. But it's those 2 games back-to-back. Bayern Munich, which we're going to go out of the Champions League that day, unless a miracle happens, a festive miracle happens. We're going to go out. And then a few days later, we have to go to Anfield. And make no mistake, if that was at Anfield yesterday, we'd have lost 7-0 again. We absolutely would have. Because last season, they scored 7 goals with like 7 on target. You think, well, how poor we are in defensive transition. Instead of it being Joe Linton or whoever running with the ball, it's Mo Salah at Anfield facing the Kop. That's not going to go in every time. Of course it is going to go in every single time. And I just worry that by that point, with the players not trying, with the way that everything is going, it might just be like Ineos kind of their hand are a bit forced. But I'd love them not to do it and just be like, say to the players, you know what, screw it. You're not getting away with it again.
But I was going to say on that point, we give away so many shots. Like I don't know how many shots they had yesterday. You know, you're talking about Liverpool there. If we face Liverpool, we can't give them that many chances. And it's not just that game yesterday. It's the previous games as well. We're just giving away way too many shots. And obviously we're talking about the midfield. But when you look at Wednesday's game and then you compare it to yesterday's game, you're thinking it's night and day almost in terms of performance. You know, Wednesday we can blame Onana, or Tuesday, whatever day it was now, Wednesday. You can blame Onana and maybe say, you know, if it wasn't for him, we probably would have won that game. Good 2-0, 3-1. But when you see the performance of the rest of the team on Saturday, it was night and day. It was shocking. And why are we getting that? Why are we getting those 2 performances? And I think for me, I think that's a question actually. Maybe there is more to it than meets the eye when it comes to Rashford. You know, it's easy to say. It's very easy to say he's not playing for the manager. It's very easy to say that because of what we see on the pitch. But it just seems something's not adding up for me. Like, how can he be doing this for the whole season, pretty much, and the manager's still sticking by him? And, you know, like we're talking about Ineos here and coming in and footballing decisions and all this kind of stuff. Like, I don't think they can get rid of some of these players. Rashford has just been given a new contract. He's just been given a new contract, and it's huge.
Yeah. Rich, what the problem I have with Rashford is, right? Garnacho now has to start Garnacho. He has to start Garnacho.
Oh, 100%.
Because Garnacho is getting a goal for him. McTominay's getting a goal for him. So he has to start him. So what does he do? Because he wants to play Rashford, he puts him over on the right-hand side where Rashford doesn't want to play.
But that actually started off, Ken. That actually started off because Anthony was being rubbish.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In weirdly, it's like we go through these cycles, right? Where certain players don't do their job, so we're like shift it around a bit, or injuries. So there's injuries, and you know, Anthony's obviously wasn't here at that time. Let's get Bruno out there. Let's shoehorn him in there because Garnacho, the kid, can't play out there. Rashford, he's better from the left, but we've now got to put him on the right. Goes on the right, but like, actually, is he better on the right? He's forced to have to pass it. He's forced to have to cross it. Now he's just not trying. That's pathetic. It is actually pathetic. I agree. And look at this. No win against top 8 teams since October 2021 away from home.
And you know that was against Spurs.
West Ham,
was it? I think it might have been Spurs against
Ham. No, it was West Ham, the Lingard one.
Was it West Ham Lingard one?
Oh,
right, yeah. And then was that before or after Spurs then? Because I think that was. Oh, I'm thinking the penalty. Either way, you know, again, those games, like, it's not even against proper top teams at that period of time either. Like, when's the big time we've gone away to like a proper big top 4 rival, a big team away from home, big away performance? I mean, again, to go back to Rashford last night, I mean, we're talking about how poor he was this season, but that was like a new low for him yesterday, I felt.
Yeah,
you know, like right towards the end.
It was the Rangnick.
Yeah, that was right towards the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of this season, this season, again, that was a circle back to, you're right, the Rangnick situation. That clip, that's gone wild on social media. I remember me and Kenny were talking about it in the chat when Livramento go past him. He just stopped. I got out of my chair.
That wasn't the only time. That wasn't the only time in that game. That was not the only time in that game he did that.
Oh yeah,
he did that a few times that game. He did that a few times in that game. It wasn't just one game.
My thing is that I'm upset because I'll be honest. I'm looking at Ten Hag, and I'm like, he's uninspiring. They're not. He's not. Like he has the chance to speak in the presser and the thing afterwards. And I said, one thing I said, I know it doesn't count for a lot, but I said after that performance, because obviously we're getting ready to do the reactions and stuff, and I know he's going to be talking on TNT and they're getting ready to do it. I was like, he better go in and say what that was. And when I saw some of his comments afterwards, I thought there's not throwing your players under the bus in public, which some people say, oh, he did it to Sancho, so why don't you do it now? I'm not even going to be that pedantic. There's not throwing your players under the bus. And then there's just being deluded. Like, to come out and say, we did well to get to halftime. I know we did say Newcastle deserved to win. We said we did well to get to halftime. It took us too long to assert ourselves, but we did near the end. We got a disallowed goal. Mate, shut up. Like that.
And one cleared off the line.
I swear, and I'm the most patient. Like I've always, I like Eric. He's a good guy. When I see him and things like that. But when I'm looking at like some of the things that he's saying versus the performance, it doesn't fill me with confidence that he's going to get a reaction. We go in at 0-0, luckily, and you're like, we've got to show something.
Change
in the
it.
second half.
Change
Newcastle,
it.
There's no input from him, and to play like that, the one thing is technical ability. Yeah. So I said this yesterday. I was like, you look at a Joe Linton versus a Bruno. You look at a Lewis Miley versus a Kobbie Mainoo. You look at bloody Bruno Guimaraes and McTominay. Which obviously Guimaraes is better than him, but you know what I mean. You look at Garnacho, you look at Gordon, you look at Rashford, you look at Almiron, like you look at Shah, you look at these players, they're not like super duper amazing players, but what they are is a fantastic team. They're running for their manager, they're running for their fans, and most importantly, they're running for themselves because they have accountability, they got pride, they got intention to win the game, they got intensity, and look how threadbare they are. The only reason we got on top in the last 9 minutes when the extra time was because they got no one. They had to bring on Matt Ritchie, right? An idiot. Like they got nobody.
And a keeper went off. And a keeper went off as well.
So they put everything into it. Yeah. And then I'll tell you what, there's 9 minutes left. Let's have a bit of game management. We'll take our foot off the gas. Lo and behold, Man United actually see the ball for a little bit now because they've decided they've run their asses off and there's only 9 minutes left. Let's see this out. We get a lucky crap little deflected, it was an offside goal. But that was it. Let's not kid ourselves. Ten Hag tried to make out that was some good mental strength from us to stay in the game for as long as possible so that the last 9 minutes we could have a go. No.
He said, he was like, oh yeah, Garnacho had a chance early on and then we had a goal ruled out of offside and you go, Eric, mate. And this is where you go, you're not helping yourself.
Embarrassing.
Yeah,
minute 10 and minute 100.
Yeah.
And then what happened else in between?
Yeah, you're not helping yourself with the stuff you're saying. And I get it. Look, I've done all the press conferences. There's only certain stuff you can say. But at the same time, it's been reported a couple of times that he and his staff feel like they can't criticize those players. And I'm like, well, F it, mate. Do it. Because this approach, this sort of soft approach, it ain't working. And then guess what? If you're falling out with players anyway by being sort of nice, just start being nasty. Go scorched earth. If you're on the way out and you can feel it anyway, do it. Say some things that people want to hear. I know you can look at Ralph Rangnick and go, it didn't work out for him. But even Ralph Rangnick knew towards the end, he went, I'm not staying around, am I? If I go out, go out with the blaze of glory.
The surgery thing happened, yeah.
Why not?
Mina, there was a positive. Go on.
Sorry, yeah, just Mina. What? Obviously, look, we're all, you look at the manager now and he's not seeing the players running. And I know you said the players are like getting the manager sacked all the time and you're sick of that. But where do you stand like with Eric though? Like how he can change this? How much of this is on him? Yes, there's injuries and unlucky stuff that happens, but surely what we're seeing, like he's got to take a lot of accountability of what's going on right now.
Yeah, yesterday's comments after the game, that's something I'd expect like Vincent Kompany to say. That's actually something I'd expect a relegation battle, a team that's in relegation to come out after playing against a top 8 team to be like, oh yeah, we could have got a result. We had a goal offside. That's honest. That Ten Hag doesn't help himself, especially when it comes to like the tactical side of things. Because I know people always talk about Spurs manager and Unai Emery and all of them guys, but for a manager for me that is so adamant that his style of football, not that Ajax way, his style of football is possession-based football. I've never seen a manager that actually doesn't care so much for us to have possession and not only have possession, but to do something with it. It's when he joined, we were told, Manchester United are looking to be like a possession-based team, but find players that are good on the ball, that can utilize the ball, inverted fullbacks. He abandons everything so easily. However, one thing, and this is why I said he's a liar, yeah, because one thing he doesn't abandon is this philosophy of playing a left-footed centre-back on the left and a right-footed centre-back on the right-hand side. That's his argument for playing Luke Shaw there yesterday. And he also said Luke Shaw, it was a tactical decision to play him at centre-back, and it was also because he doesn't have to run as much as he does when he's playing fullback. So is that him basically saying Luke Shaw can't run? Is he basically saying Luke Shaw ain't got the legs? Is he basically saying, I'm putting him there instead of someone like Raphael Varane, who's a natural centre-back? I don't care what issues you have with Varane. I actually don't care what issues happen behind the scenes. But you can't tell me that Varane is 5th or 6th choice centre-back at Manchester United, behind Luke Shaw, who doesn't even play there, and the likes of Johnny Evans, Lindelof for me, who has been poor this season. Lindelof last season, towards the end when he came in, when Lisandro Martinez kind of came, when he got injured, he was good. But this season, amongst everybody else's piece of shitness, he's been shit too. Excuse my language, because I don't normally swear, but Lindelof has been crap as well. My issue with Erik ten Hag is, and you know what, I'm very much like I'm in two places, because one part of me is like, the players can't continuously get away with this. How many times, 2 years, 2.5 years, do we go through a cycle and the players manage to get another manager sacked? But then also, I look at Erik ten Hag and I'm like, well, you don't help yourself either. You're so insistent on playing Kobbie Mainoo as a lone midfielder, playing Scott McTominay, who shouldn't even be in a 1 mile radius of the Manchester United starting 11. Forget that. He shouldn't even be in a 1 mile radius of the 23-man squad for the Premier League. However, he's insistent to play him and Bruno as these 2/8s or these 2/10s or whatever it is. He's insistent on, if you perform well, you will play. Okay, so why doesn't Hannibal get a chance? Hannibal played well in the chances that he had throughout the season, but he was so easily dropped. Amrabat, when he first came and he was playing well, easily dropped, but he continuously plays the players that are not performing. We know that there's an issue with the manager. I think it's clear as day. And you know what? I say that once that Sancho thing kind of blew up, I think the players kind of lost respect for him, because, once you fall out with Ronaldo, then it's Sancho, now Raphael Varane. It looks like, if people are saying that the players are not playing for the manager, I think it's kind of his man management that has effed him up. And the whole side of the tactics and his philosophy and kind of all of that kind of stuff, the players look clueless on the pitch. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to adapt. It's either they are not taking the instructions from the manager or they just don't care. It's literally one or the other.
Interesting. I'm going to get the super chats out, but this comment just took me here. Billy says, United view, come on, why you guys talk about problems? Discuss solutions, as the team is not working for the ball. Want solutions, says Billy.
Well,
hold on a sec there.
I'll give you a solution. Yeah. No, well, I'll give you a solution. And I said before, there is one positive coming to that game. One positive for me. That's the first time he's took Rashford off over Garnacho. I expect him to take Garnacho off and move Rashford across.
Yeah, I was adamant. I really thought he would bottle it and not do that.
Know, I did. So I think
he had to take off Rashford.
Well, he's done it before, but you will not see Marcus Rashford on that pitch against Chelsea. You will not see him on that pitch.
I bet we do.
I bet you don't. I'll have a five.
I bet he puts Anthony on the right and Rashford on the left. I bet you. You know what I think
if he does that, he does deserve to be sacked. If he does that, he does deserve to be sacked.
I bet he does. We haven't had a home game for a while. Chance for a turnaround. Rashford could get a goal at home against Chelsea. Big game.
No.
Wednesday night. I bet he does it. He better not, but I bet he does. I bet he does.
I can't see.
Let's get these super chats out and get them out. Eagle Eye Football, big up Rich, says big up UV gang. How long will Ten Hag last? Well, we're kind of talking about it now. So I know you sent that a little while ago, but we're kind of talking about that now ish. I think we're not really sure, but there are some familiar writings on the wall. Show been a member for 14 months. Big up to you, Show. Says Erik ten Hag going back to Ollie's players will result in his end. Fear for him by the end of December. 60 shots faced in the past 3 games alone. And that's just it. When Owen were talking earlier, and Owen was saying that about, by the end of December, the types of games we would have played and some of the manner of the defeats we probably would have taken by then against the Bayern Munich, against Liverpool in the manner that it's going to be, which we all know it is. It's going to look peak. And if Bournemouth is sandwiched in between that, anyhow, there's a catastrophe in that game at Old Trafford. You're starting to get into some crazy territory. Plus, obviously, Chelsea at home, which can go anywhere. Aminor says, Owen, I just watched Spurs with a style of play. 100%. Like, you know what? For all of the things I said, dare you high line for life and things. Yes, there was some mad stuff that happened, but essentially they made it a competitive game. They did, because of the way they played. They pressurized them. They done some stupid stuff where they gave the ball away and City hit the post and bar and all them things. City had more chances. I get that. But they, with their style of play, with a decimated squad, they competed.
Yeah.
More than that, they got a good draw considering the circumstances, and they kept going to the end. Look at our players. So for the stick I give Ange, or
you can look at it without winning 4 games in the Premier League.
There you go, and that is what gets us.
That's the stance you have to take tomorrow.
Because when we start going, only 6 points off top. Yeah, well now we're 9. Yeah, instantly. Like it is. You're right, Owen. It does depend. It depends how you are as a person, how you want to look at it to make yourself feel better. RK says, if Erik ten Hag survives Christmas, I will be shocked. Wow. He has lost the players. Liverpool don't score more than 7. I will be shocked. Chelsea will steamroll us too. Daniel just has a contribution. Thank you, Daniel. Really appreciate that. And Katara HD, Katorga HD says, players don't perform because the tactics are rubbish. 4-0-6 formation, 90 shots conceded. Players have muscular injuries from running so much. Divas says, I think you guys are ready for the next 18-month cycle. Let's go. At least we will have a few good months with a new manager, then go back to normal. Divas is saying he knows what's going to happen here. We've seen this happen. This is what's going to happen. Thank you for the contribution there as well. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And Eagle Eye Football says, I've seen Fred versus Amrabat debates. Thoughts? Amrabat's not better than Fred.
No, I think they're 2 different players.
Yeah, but
Amrabat,
the swap didn't make sense.
It wasn't a like for like swap. I don't think I think Amrabat was more so the Casemiro type of. He was meant to be that type of player. I think. I don't think it was a like for like swap. Call me crazy, but I think Mount was the like for like swap for Fred.
More like
energy-wise,
energy, get around the pitch, and well, so far that ain't been an upgrade either.
Exactly.
In a weird way. United says the fans acknowledge it's going to take time and the players are the issue, but as soon as the results turn bad, we turn on managers ASAP. Do better. Has United got a point there? So we're saying that we know these players are crap, and when it goes bad, why do we start doing that? But then he's spent a lot of money and there's a lot of players that he's bought, so you can't just act like Ten Hag's not part of it.
I think my main issue really is, especially when you're looking at people like Newcastle and then even Spurs. Obviously, Spurs have a good first team, but Newcastle, like we now think they're a good first team, right? We now think, okay, yeah, they look good. But 18 months ago, when he came in, when Eddie Howe came in, we didn't think Newcastle had a good team, and he's made those players better. And actually, that's the argument that if you want to come at me with that argument about Ten Hag and say, you know what, like he actually improve this team in a sense where we can be more consistent. I don't know if he's done that. I can't say he's done that because Newcastle are a lot more consistent than us. They do have the odd, the odd random game where they just get thrashed randomly or get beaten anyway, not thrashed. But they're consistent, they're clear, they're disciplined, they work hard. And what upset me the most yesterday actually was the work rate. The work rate yesterday was
they don't crumble.
Non-existent. It was absolutely. It was so annoying, especially when you compared it to the players from the Newcastle team. Obviously, we've said Maguire looked great, right? Even the fact that we're even having to say that
he didn't look great. He was just trying the hardest.
Exactly, he worked hard.
Let's be honest. He got pulled out of position, fouling people. Like it was crap, but it was. You looked at him and going, "But that's a guy who's
at least you're trying."
In an uncomfortable position. Isak's dropping off the front. Harry Maguire don't want to be anywhere near that high. That's his worst nightmare. But he had to kick Gordon down because someone else would have been in if he didn't do it. Like he just was the only one trying.
What I would say with that super chat though, what I would say with that super chat though, when it said about fans turning on the manager or whatever, I think that's where we have to be careful talking like absolutes because there are people. I mean, Raf said it yesterday. He's Ten Hag out, but there are some people that are like, look at Marcel. He's absolutely no. There are people that are in between there where they're like, I don't want the manager to go. I think the player should go, but he's not helping himself. And look, and this isn't me being toxically positive or anything like that, but For instance, right, you look at the table. Let's say, like, we played Chelsea on Wednesday at home. We could, like, right?
Toxic positivity. Don't do it.
Hear me out. Hear me out. What I'm going to say. Hear me out. Hear me out. Right? We've got Chelsea on Wednesday at home. Yeah. I think we could go around the panel and go, we could beat Chelsea at home. We could, right? Because we're at home. And Chelsea, they won today against Brighton. Fair play. Got a player sent off. But it's at home. That one could go our way.
Well, the problem was we give
Newcastle. Hear me out, Rich. Newcastle.
Only 2 points above us.
The 2 points above it. Then they play away against Everton. And they could very easily go to Everton because they're not as good as away from home. They could very easily go away to Everton, lose. And then we're above them. And then it's kind of like, this is when we get into that we're one step away from crisis each time, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. You
know what? I'm with you.
I'm with you. I'm with you, and I'm worried.
I've changed my opinion on that.
Even if we win, we went above Newcastle.
Yeah, I wouldn't be saying. I swear to you, now I've changed my. Now I've realised the importance of what really is happening game to game with your eyes of how we play football. Because I'll be honest, you're right.
When we play the big
boys. In pure maths, it's true because you will be factually correct when/if that happens against Chelsea and if Newcastle go and lose against Everton. We're like, you know what? It's not that bad, man. But
it is.
What is consistent? If we just stick to what is consistent, Erik ten Hag ain't won a difficult away game since he's got it.
Yeah. That is true.
Every single time, apart from last year at home because we did well. But let's be honest, every single time we play somebody difficult away from home, can't do anything. West Ham, Brentford, Palace, all these type of teams can go to the big. Fulham just had a 4-3 shootout with Liverpool. You think we're going to do that? Fulham.
But this is what I'm thinking.
We're not going to do that. We're not going to compete.
That's what I'm thinking.
Liverpool scored 3 goals.
Is this just what it's going to probably be like though to the end of the season, whereby we're going to go away to Newcastle. We're going to lose. We're going to lose at Anfield. We're going to go out of the Champions League. But as long as as long as we're in touching distance of these teams, which we might be, then that might be something that he hangs on to. We're talking about, is he going to see out December? And I'm worried for him. I agree, because it might get so toxic. But I'm just thinking, actually, what might be in his favor is that as long as we're in touching distance of those people, then they might be like, you know what, wait till the end of the season, which is what I think they should do anyway.
Yeah, that's true. For him to get sacked, you've got to lose loads of games, be away from the top 4. Yeah. It's looking peak. Weirdly, we are still, like you said, points wise, still in and around the melee of it all. But when you just look at our performances when we play against good teams, it's poor. Kenny, I'm going to come to you in 2 seconds. I'm just going to read these super chats out and then come back to Mina after Kenny as well. Keegan says, "How do you expect anything else from these players? They had many managers sacked. Erik ten Hag won't openly pull a Ralph Rangnick and call for open heart surgery." And I don't know if this is Ralph Rangnick. Says, "I want to go back to good is not good enough. I miss that energy. Liverpool will end him." Side note: KG called out all our bad players during pre-season. He just didn't know it was the Onana song. Yeah. Choco Paid, been a member for 15 months. Big up to you. Says, "Solutions for people who have no power, LOL." Seriously though, I find it funny how so many give it all the reason Erik ten Hag ain't it, then say keep him. So basically saying he's not good enough, he's not this, but then say he should stay. And sorry if I don't pronounce this right. Ketchadil, I'm going to go with. Apology if I've pronounced your name right, but Ketchadil says, to be honest, guys, there are problems in Manchester United. We have a bigger problem. Pointing at players, coaches is a waste of time. United fans, get the Glazers out. For me, Glazers out. Listen, we're all Glazers out. But at some point, the day-to-day is what's going on the pitch and the players that you chose to brought in and the routines and the patterns, that's on Erik ten Hag. It's not on the Glazers. Basilo says, if Martial had not been hurt during LVG, would Rashford ever have made it into the first team? Ifs, buts, and maybes. I don't know. Chalaboy comment says, Owen, do we think there is a higher power that's making sure Rashford sees the pitch? I love Vince McMahon. Is Vince McMahon in the corporate ministry? Yes, they're keeping him.
I hope not. I hope Vince McMahon has nothing to do with Manchester United.
Yes, ever. Yeah. Benji says, didn't bother watching last night. Can't be arsed with Erik ten Hag. Wow, hasn't even seen it, Benji. Benji's like, I don't even know what's happened. And to hear, has just become the latest member of the UV Members Club. That's a nice thing. big up to you to hear. Amongst all of the negativity and like dissecting our team, to hear's gone, you know what though, I want to join the membership, which you
and also click the like button, by the way, Flex.
Yes,
nearly 1,800 people watching, less than 200 likes.
Guys, we need 500 today, minimum. I would love to get 1,000 because we're on our way to 2K, maybe watching live, which would be really good. But I'd love to get to 500 likes. That would be amazing, guys. If you could get involved, smash a like on the video. Sorry, yes, I was going to go to you, Kenny, and then back to Mina. Sorry.
The thing I'm picking up on now is that we've got, well, he hasn't come in yet. Jim Ratcliffe comes in. Jim Ratcliffe is a businessman, right? We're all screaming about get rid of the players, get rid of the players. They've tried already this summer to get rid of some of those players. They have tried, right? Yeah. Those players have said no. Now, if I'm a businessman, I'm looking at it from a point of view that I've got Rafael Varane he's fell out with. I've got Sancho he's fell out with. It's probably going to fall out with Rashford. That's probably the next one, right? Probably Martial. Somebody somewhere is going to say, what's the cost? And I mean cost in financial cost of getting rid of those players or getting rid of the manager.
Yep.
Now, I know, and you know, it's fair and expensive. It's inexpensive from a business perspective to get rid of the manager because we've seen that 3 or 4 times with these same players. So our wish list of who to bring in, we can't. We have to be realistic. And what we have to accept is we have to come to a level of mediocrity. We are a mediocre football team.
Yeah.
We are not a great football team. We cannot attract Bellinghams. We cannot attract Rices. We cannot attract Grealishes. We cannot.
These are daggers to my heart, bro. You're stabbing me in the heart.
It's true.
It's
so
true.
We have to be realistic.
It's true, yeah.
We have to be realistic. But, you know, let's go back 20 years or whatever. Any prospective superstar, young lad, best in Europe, they came to Old Trafford. Right? They didn't come to Old Trafford. They go to Liverpool. Third choice to be Arsenal. No, we're fourth choice. We're fourth choice because they'll pay as much. They'll pay as much, and you're coming into a settled team that plays football and are collectively in that dressing room together. What must be going round in these other dressing rooms, in the Liverpool dressing room and City? They all play international with each other about what's going on at Old Trafford. It's got to be. So for me, the biggest danger Ten Hag has is his players and the fact that when Sir Jim comes in, if he wants change, he has got to start with the manager because he cannot get rid of 4 or 5 players at once. He can't do it. So if it's that serious, he's got to start with the manager. Sadly, he's got to start with it.
Or does he send a message, Kenny? Does he come in, Sir Jim, and be like, I know you players want me to get rid of the manager, but I'm not. Just so you know, like we're drawing that line in the sand that in the past you would have won that argument, but this time you're not going to win this argument. Is that not the very definition of player power that he would come in and appease the players straight away when they don't deserve it?
They still get the £300,000. They go partying round Manchester and they're still playing the PS3 till 3 o'clock in the morning because they ain't bothered.
PS3.
Whatever.
2 generations behind, Kenny. PS3. 10 years ago.
They come by and they play the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Why not?
They're playing their Game Boys.
At least I put a smile on Mina's face. She's took her eyes off her MUFC.
Yeah.
But am I right?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Joe Blackman says this is why players keep the power. We need this to stop. Back the manager. Let these players know, says Joe Blackman. Mina, do you think that look, Eric Ten Hag got the job on like certain, non-negotiables? Because I remember that when we were waiting for him to come, it was like he wants to know, does he have control over the academy? Does he have control over the transfers? All of these things. And as far as we know, obviously John Murtough said yes. And to be honest, you can see that in the type of signings we've made. Martinez, Onana, Anthony, who else? Someone like Amrabat. Like even just them 4 straight away, that's really Ten Hag focused. Malacia, people like that. So Mount, we're not sure whose one that was. Is that a club? Is that him? Højlund looks like a Ten Hag kind of vibe, if I'm honest. So you've seen it that he's had a big say over the players we've bought. Do you think he'd want to work with Jim Ratcliffe if Jim Ratcliffe changes what the expectation is from him? I.e., someone said they might not let him recruit, but they'll keep him in place.
Well, your job is to coach. It's like me going to. It's like when you work in a supermarket. At this point, Eric Ten Hag works in a supermarket because if you've ever worked in a I used to work in M&S. 1 minute I'm stacking shelves.
Yes, minute M&S.
Yeah? One minute I'm stacking shelves. The next minute I'm on tills. Sometimes I'm in the changing rooms. You know, when I'm on the clothing department. Whereas, you know, if you're a manager at M&S, all you do is go around and manage the people that are working. Eric Ten Hag wants to be on the shop floor. He wants to be in the stock room. He wants to be on the tills. He wants to do everything. Your job is just to coach. That's it. And you know what? Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming in, a lot of the reports that I've seen is that he wants him and his team, his recruitment staff kind of want to build a style of football or bring in players that fit the style of football that he wants the club to play, not the manager. That means, you know, if you're 3-4 managers in, you'll still be playing the same form of football because it's the style of the team. I think Eric Ten Hag's biggest downfall is that he's had a lot of control over his transfers. I think he's had
Audi's good. Audi's good as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. Don't disarm me. Don't disarm me, man.
Yeah, spend a little, live a lot. Audi, there you go. You can sponsor us.
Other brands are available.
Yeah, I think Ten Hag's biggest downfall, especially like when things ain't working on the pitch, is because he's had a lot of control over his transfers. I don't know how he went to Ajax with 100 million and walked away with Anthony when Kudus was there. Kudus has 4 goals in the Premier League in 12 appearances. That's the same number of goals that Anthony has in 30-something Premier League appearances. 30-something Premier League appearances.
Mad.
I think the biggest issue with Ten Hag and the reason why people are questioning him is not only because on the pitch it's not working, but also off the pitch, these same people that he's brought are not even he don't even think they're quality enough to start in a game like such as Newcastle away from home. On top of that, I think blame also. I know people are going to say, "Oh, but you know, it's not Murto and it's not Arnold, it's not the Glazers that are playing on the pitch." But these are the people that authorize these transfers. Why have we been allowed, or why has Ten Hag been allowed to sign multiple players this season that have had reoccurring injuries? Højlund had injury problems during his medical, and they still allowed him to go through with that transfer. How does that make sense? Mason Mount, we knew he had injury problems at Chelsea. They allowed it. Amrabat came in injured. He came in injured, yet United still allowed him to go out and get these players. Every player that, for some reason, Ten Hag has seemed to bring in, Malacia, Eriksen, Casemiro, who was fit as a dog at Real Madrid, suddenly falling like a fly at Manchester United. A lot of players picking up non-contact injuries. Is that because of the training regime? Is that because they're just not fit? Is Eric Ten Hag running them into the ground in training to a point where it comes to match day and they can't run for more than 45 minutes because they're tired from the training ground? I don't know what's happening, but there's a lot of questions to be asked about Ten Hag, and I think it's because he's had way too much control. He needs to be on manager settings in M&S. No till, no stock room, no changing room, just manager. That's it.
No, fair.
Yeah. Do you think, Mina, with that, do you think like they didn't, so when they got the stuff about Højlund and his back and Amrabat with his back and those players with the reoccurring injuries, do you think they thought, we've got to go through with the transfer now? Why? Well, we spend ages on transfer. We can't get anyone else.
Yeah.
We
don't have anyone else.
We haven't got extra free rubs.
Every transfer, they were spending 3 weeks to get it done. Yeah. Every single one. And I think Højlund is one of the few transfers actually that was picked by the recruitment staff
rather than the manager.
Come in, based on data, based on stats. I don't know who those data guys are and the stats guy, but they need to leave with Ten Hag if Ten Hag leaves too, because their maths ain't mathing. Their maths is not mathing. We can criticize, the team for not creating anything. But we're in December and he has not scored in the Premier League yet. Yeah, we can say we're not creating chances, but United do be getting shots on goal. United do be getting opportunities. The last couple of games, he's had really bad performances. He's had really poor performances, but nobody's saying anything because everyone's so focused on Rashford, Bruno. Oh, we're not crossing. Oh, we're not creating for him. What is he doing? What is Højlund doing?
I agree. Wow. I do sympathize with it. I sympathize with him a lot, but at the same time, if this was let's say Højlund signed for Liverpool and he didn't score by the 3rd of December, we'd be on him. Yeah. We'd be all over.
Richarlison last year, everyone was on him. Everyone was on him last year.
Yeah, so Nunes as well.
Yeah.
He
was scoring. Nunes.
I just can't see, man. Like, I just look at the signings. They're uninspiring. They haven't made us much better. I look at the tactics. So, I mean, me and Marcel had a little back and forth yesterday because Marcel's saying like he can see improvement. And I'm saying I can't name one thing that we do better this year than last. I can't see it. Like, I know, like, you can say 20 minutes against Arsenal.
Concede more goals.
Like, concede more goals.
We do it better. We concede better.
We score less goals. Now we score less goals. all right, we're about par in points, maybe sort of thing. But like, if you just get into the nitty gritty of like the football, you know what I mean, of it all. Like, look how we play. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And I don't want to just all the things that Mina said that I really agree with, right? But is that an indictment on the club? You know, we talk about the players that came in injured. We talk about, you know, the players that you know, he's having to pick potentially because they couldn't be sold and all this kind of stuff. Is this a further indictment on the structure of the club? Yes. At the same time, like Flex just said, has Ten Hag, these are just excuses for him at this point. Like, has he done enough really at this moment, in this moment in time, to justify where we are? And really and truly, we haven't improved.
It's that as well. Director of football's right. Essentially, everything, we haven't improved. We haven't. Yeah. If anything, I know that Ollie revisionism is like silly. I'm not saying like go back and let's get Ollie back in. Yeah, I'm not saying that, because the same kind of thing in terms of when we had Ollie, you know, we had a counter-attacking style and we could hurt some of the big teams away from home. It was actually ironic that he could do that, but he had to get sacked. Look what happened in his last bit of the reign. Smashed at Leicester, smashed against Watford, smashed against bloody... Can't even remember what else happened in that bad run.
Liverpool.
The Liverpool, yeah. Like, it, yeah, it... Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not... You know, he didn't deserve to keep his job, but because that is revisionism. But what Director of Football said there is true. Like, we haven't really got better since then, have we? We haven't.
You guys remember, last week on the Full View, or the week before, when Marcel was talking about 10 years, we were talking about where the club will be in 10 years' time. You guys remember? Do you remember, Owen? 10 years ago.
It was a very strange argument from a man that doesn't understand the concept of time, yes.
So he was arguing, you know, I said in 10 years' time, you know, where will United be? 10 years ago, guys, 2013. Man. David Moyes said in a press conference in December that Manchester United need to improve on defending, creating chances, passing. 10 years later, we're still in the same problem. If you told me 10 years ago that we'd be in the same issue, do you know how much stuff happens in 10 years?
Man, I can't do this for another 10 years. I can't do
a lot happens.
But it was also, it's weird because last season we did improve, but the problem is this season we've regressed to the point that it's almost like last season didn't happen. You know what I mean? It's like the credit that Ten Hag has built up, he's lost now. Like, he has lost that credit, or he's losing it very, very quickly. Because
it feels like that regression started last season, Owen, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. After we sort of peaked by winning a trophy and beating Barcelona. After that, we just sort of went, oh, we've got better now. And then we've not been good. Let's face it.
I just think last season was a new manager coming in, and it was just new vibes. Good vibes.
Do you reckon that was just it?
Yeah,
we do always have that. We do always have that. We've had the new manager bounce.
Remember when Ollie came in? And we went on until after the PSG game.
Like 17 games.
Yeah.
It was like 17
it was.
Games. Yeah.
Record.
And it was amazing. Exactly. Mr. Coolio 54 says, on a positive note, can we talk about Anthony's performance in Istanbul and cameo at Newcastle? Can he come good? Hold that thought. Wow.
Don't hold the thought, Mina.
Okay. Don't hold that thought. Okay. No. We'll get straight back to that. Choco Pay says, real talk, why are people so sure Eric Ten Hag is the one?
It's a good question.
Not doing it, yeah. And Flex once said, Rice 100 million better than McTominay. Is Rice 100 million better than McTominay? Did I say is he better than McTominay?
Flex has said a lot.
You asked the question. I remember you asked the question. You asked the question.
A lot of things.
Probably did.
It was on a morning view. I think I remember that day.
Yeah. Probably said, do we want to spend 100 million on that? Or do you want to, you know, how much better is he than McTominay? Exactly, now we know the answer. It's about waiting to find the evidence.
Facts.
But on that Anthony question, Mina, you said no. Are we just in a bad period and he's ran around a little bit? So we're like, actually, there's the future. Let's come bring Anthony back in. Or is there more?
No, I think in a bag of crap, it's very easy to stand out and look good when everybody else sucks. It's very easy. And I think, you know, can he come good? Is that implying that we play him occasionally? He's a starter sometimes and he's a bench player sometimes, because 100 million ain't a bench player. You know, I know that's Jack Grealish right now at Man City, but Man City is stacked. Man City is stacked right now. But 100 million is not a bench player. And I don't think Anthony's a bad player. I genuinely don't think that. I just think that the Premier League is not for him. That's it. I just think he's not made for the Premier League. Maybe he should go back to the Netherlands, or maybe the Portuguese league, or maybe, I don't know, the Iranian league, something like that. I don't think the Premier League is for him.
You're like, oh,
I don't think it's for him, in my honest opinion. I just don't know how he costs that much, and he's not. If you cost 100 million as a winger, I'm expecting double digit goals and assists. Jude Bellingham is a midfielder. How many goals has he got at Real Madrid? I think he just broke a record for most goals in a beginning number of games in the season. Yeah. Anthony's got 4 goals in the Prem since he's joined Manchester United in like 38 games.
But that's the difference, isn't it? Jude Bellingham's a generational footballer. Anthony's average.
It's not.
Average. Anthony's a player that you talk about recruitment. It all comes back to recruitment, doesn't it? Everything comes back to recruitment at Man United. Because
Jude Bellingham wants to go. Yeah. He wants to go he's a player that we
quoted 40 million. Quoted 40 million for him, and we went, that's too expensive. And somehow we ended up paying 100 million euros for him. And I was shocked that his talent is actually around sort of 40 million euros. That's what his value is. And coming good, I think we've probably seen the best of him anyway, to be honest. He might get a bit better, but not to the level that we think he's going to be, or like a title. He wouldn't get in. Would Anthony get in any other top 6 side, realistically?
On the right-hand side, no.
Maybe the under 18s team. Maybe.
Yeah, he's not better than Almiron.
No,
he's not better than Salah. He's not better than Saka. No. He's not better than Kulusevski.
No chance.
He's not better than Musa Diaby at Villa. No way.
Would he get Brighton?
Who plays on the right for them?
Not Thomas. What's the other guy?
Buonanotte played there today, though, didn't he? Is he better than him?
We're getting a Villa.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, Leon Bailey and Musa Diaby are both better than him.
Yeah,
says a lot, doesn't it?
100%. Jarrod Bowen, you wouldn't get in at West Ham. Anthony wouldn't start for West Ham. Would he start for Everton? Is he better than Jack Harrison?
He is. Yeah, he's better than Jack.
What is Elanga better than him? Who would you rather have on the right? Who would you rather have on the right? Anthony or Anthony Elanga? Who would you rather have on the right hand side? Honestly.
Oh, Anthony. I mean, we have to say Anthony. Because we've just saw Elanga, and there was a lot of complaints about Elanga throughout last season.
There was.
And also Elanga plays.
I would take Elanga because you know what? Elanga does the basics well, and he works hard. Yeah, he works hard, and that's what he's been doing at Forest, bagging goals and assists. Honestly, I would take him, and he can actually try to beat a man. He can actually try to get past the winger, past his fullback. He can actually do it. With Anthony,
well, this is part of the problem with our players, right? Even Anthony now, people ask the question, let's talk about Anthony's good performances. Whenever a player is out of the team for a little while, they're the best player in the world again. That really Rashford just needs Rashford just needs time out of the team, because then we'll be like, oh, we need Rashford back, we need him back. Oh, look how much we're missing Rashford. As soon as the player leaves, oh, look at that. To be fair, some of them do much better elsewhere. But the Elangas, Pereiras, and all these players. But as soon as they leave the team, it's like they've escaped the curse and they can now go and flourish.
Can't have that. Day and Darb says, hello, everyone. Question for Mina in particular. Why is our press so bad? Didn't even know we had one.
We have a press, but I realized, in the last couple of games, I think I realized it the most, that Erik ten Hag seems to be making players do a man-to-man press, where like in the Newcastle game, it was literally man for man. It was Kobe was on Miley, Bruno was on Joelinton, and McTominay was on the other Bruno. And essentially, there's so much space. So even, I don't know if you lot realize, but when United press, they do a man-to-man press, and every team passes out of the press easily. Because they're doing man-to-man, there's so much space. And what happens, there was quite a few times Kobe got sucked out to, the wing, and there's so much space in the middle because McTominay is marking man-to-man. Bruno is pressing man-to-man. There's so much space in that middle, and someone would run into it. Whether it's Isaac dropping deep, whether it's Almiron coming into that space. Anthony Gordon did it a few times. What happened? Aaron Wan-Bissaka was sucked in with him because it's a man-to-man press. And then Livramento comes with the overlap and has heaps of space because Rashford ain't pressing. So that's why our press is bad, because they're doing a man-to-man press and it's just not working because it just creates so much space.
Nearly at 1,800. We're at 356 likes, guys. Please, we've got we're nearly at the end of the show, actually. So can we just push? Can we just push to get 500 likes on the way out, or as close to as possible? I think that would be a great achievement for us tonight because, you know, it is tough. We are annoyed at the team. But yeah, if you could help support the channel, smash a like.
Please, guys, if you want me to pass my MOT test, like the video. Like the video.
Yeah. For Mina's safety. Safety.
Or if you want Mina to get a new car, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Tahir said, I'd rather have Daniel James over Anthony. No cap. Oh, wow. Oh, I don't know about that. Nathan, Nathan Joseph. Did he go back to Leeds? He did, didn't he?
I think he's still there. Yeah.
Nathan. Yeah. Nathan says in 10 years the streak was broken. CM Punk left and returned. Fast and Furious. Yes, Owen's reacting to that. He was going crazy the other day. Fast and Furious went to space, and we still can't beat the first man at a corner or transition from defense to attack with regularity. It really is that poor. It really is. Yeah, exactly. Chelsea coming up. I mean, just really quickly, whilst we're on 427 likes, I think we'll get to 500. I believe in you guys while we finish off. Hit a like. Let's get to 500 likes. Just really quickly. Owen, I know that we're going to do preview during the week. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got a lot of work to do with Matisse. This is on Wednesday. I need to get involved.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Midweek game.
Right. Don't let him put you around.
That's true. No, I won't do that. I won't do it. It's still him. It's still him.
They're 12th, bro, or something, or 10th.
Yeah. Come on. It's still him. But it's going to be big. Owen, prediction.
We win 2-1.
Solid from Owen.
We're at home. We're at home.
I don't know if that means much these days. I don't know what that means. Nowadays. We're at home. What does it mean?
It's got to mean something. It's got to mean something.
Mina?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a horrible game.
No.
I can't give a result because I could say that we'll win, but I don't even know who's going to score. At this rate, I might score. I might come on the pitch and score for them. I don't know who's going to score. I just know that it's going to be a horrible game.
Mina starts
running the quick header.
Right hand side.
Oh, man.
All right. Mina's not really sure. Rich?
I think it's going to be a lot of goals in the game. I'll have to predict a win because I always predict a win. So I'll say 3-2 because we give up too many chances. So we're going to concede. But hopefully we'll get some goals as well. 3-2.
Kenny?
2-1 Chelsea. I think these better teams are smelling blood. These better teams are smelling blood. And it's the first time I never ever predict against Man United. I don't care who they're playing. But after watching the recent performances, Chelsea are on the up. Chelsea, you know, look at our goal difference. We're still -1 goal difference and we're 7th in the league. Just not good enough. Chelsea will score. They'll overrun us in midfield. Their midfield is excellent. They'll overrun us in midfield. Sorry to tell you.
Well, Conor Gallagher's not playing. He's a winning runner, so he got a red card today, so he ain't going to play. It's a must win, you know. It really is. I know they all are. But it's like you lose that. Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean, though? After that type of loss, though, I mean, it's our first home game in a long time. We're back at Old Trafford.
If we lose that
under the lights, like we've got, like you can't rock up and just get done by Chelsea. That's unthinkable. That really, really is.
So what's your prediction?
Yeah.
Sure. We haven't got a draw yet this year.
We don't draw. We don't draw. We don't draw.
No, take it off the table.
We've got one. The first
Chelsea got a lot of frailties. Chelsea ain't that great, but obviously we're shit as well. Like KG says, El Muddico, both mudded. I think it'll be a draw. But by the time I see Matisse's face and start getting into it, I'm not going to say that. But as I sit here now, I'm not confident. But by the time I see him and I see his stupid face tomorrow, I'll start getting angry again and think, you know what I mean? We might be able to do something, but I'm not confident right now. Anyway, Biggie the First says we were ready to be patient with Ten Hag. He choked. So not really being patient anymore. And that is it for all of the super chats. Big up to everybody who's got involved. Where are we at likes wise? We got to 478.
22.
Come on.
2 to go.
Yes, exactly. Come on. We can do that on the way out. Smash a like on the video as we are on our way out. Subscribe to United View if you haven't done so already. We'll be back in the morning, 9 a.m. as we are every Monday, every morning, 9 till 10. There will be previews. There will be combined 11s, actually. There's a lot coming into the lead up to Wednesday's game as well. So, yes, a lot of work to do. We got to do it. Big up to Mina. Thanks for listen. Go get an MOT sorted, man. We want you to.
Yeah.
Don't be driving that. Like, don't be driving that car around not safe. Yeah. Like, go get that sorted. Like, do you know what I mean? Go get that sorted, man. Big up to Rich. Big up to Kenny, and big up to Owen as per usual as well. And we'll see you guys on the next show. Take care. Peace.
Take care.